Hello, everybody. Welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Welcome back to the show, Tiffany. We took the week off last week because of the holiday.
That's right.
We had a good time. Did you?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Spent it with you, so I hope.
Yeah, I did.
Same. But hopefully you guys enjoyed your week off from watching this show.
It's because it's a chore.
It is. It really is. For you and for them.
No.
But we're very lucky to have you. Of course, this is a comic book review show where we take the books from the past week, recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for comics that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. But there's an exception to that. Today, we have an exclusive review of Valiant's Shadowman number 3, which is not coming out next week or the following week, but the 23rd of June.
Well, it's not coming out this week.
No.
It is coming out because you said not next week and not the following week, but I believe it is the following week.
Because
it's not coming out
2 weeks.
It's 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're going to be talking about that and giving you some exclusive access to that issue and talk more about I think that's the penultimate issue of the first arc. And I think that it's not telling tales out of school to let you know that there's going to be more Shadowman. If you're on board, yay. If you're not, only 3 issues to catch up.
Yeah.
We also want to mention, of course, this show is sponsored by you out there. If you're watching the show live, guess what? You can sponsor this episode by asking a question in the super chats or posting a comment or something, and we'll read it here on the program. For whatever reason, YouTube deemed it necessary to hide 2 super chats from Girk Pectus, who said that apparently there's a Marvel Comics XCOM style video game coming out from Eidos. Cool. And also that apparently he wants to know what tropes in comics, I guess, annoy you the most, like when there's a realistic story and the ninjas show up. I think that's great. I don't think that's a problem at all. I don't know why that's a problematic trope for him, but I will say, there's plenty of tropes that bug me, but it depends on the issue is not necessarily which tropes are problematic, but more about what tropes are appropriate for the story that I'm getting. And if it's going to be like a genre bender, that it should either do it within the confines of that genre or at the very least be it in kind of like a expectation circumventing way, like in an authentic way, change things up a little bit, because there's nothing wrong with a trope. It's just when you play to them and lean on them in exchange for substance.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm low energy. I'm sorry. I was in the sun for too much today.
Kit Kat Sneak Attack said happy belated birthday. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. My birthday was the 1st.
It was.
And you were kind enough to take me out. Thank you very much, wife. Brian Rollins says, I want to believe that the Beast has been replaced by Dark Beast. He's the biggest villain in X-Men, from the time-traveling stuff to what he's doing on Krakoa. That'd be cool. I'd be okay with that, but I think that Beast has been undergoing a character assassination for a while. So I don't expect the big reveal to be that Dark Beast is the reason why Beast is such a dick. Because you'd have to explain that he was basically doing it since the Bendis era.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of take it more like he thinks it's the right thing.
Right. It's just that he's unapologetically
he's
certain.
He's also egotistical about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, but that adds to it. So even if you're doing it for a good reason, or if you think you're doing it for a good reason, if it's ends up not being that reason, that attitude, makes you, makes you the villain.
That's true. We also wanted to mention that there's going to be a giveaway today, so that should pique your interest a little bit.
That's happening.
That's right. That's right. We're going to be giving away a special gold edition of Shadowman number 1. It looks a lot like this.
Nice.
But it's not this one. This is mine. But you'll get one. Some lucky winner in the continental United States will win a copy. Maybe it is this one. I don't know. They're right over there. I could just put one in there. But this is a special rare gold in the title. Instead of it not being gold, it is gold, and it's got a little bit of a sheen to it.
We're going to be giving this away. Bag.
Yeah. There's a lot of reflection.
Yeah, that's why I turned Kraven and Spider-Man up there.
Yeah, they were very
driving me crazy.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
So yeah, this is a good, fun, solid series, and not a bad issue to start your collection if you're interested in trying out Valiant. I'm going to use the hashtag Shadowman. If you are going to be interested in this, you have to have 2 or 3 criteria. 1, you got to be in the chat by the end of the show. 2, you got to live in the continental United States, because I'm mailing it. I'm paying for this postage. So That's what we're going to do. So yeah, hashtag Shadowman if you want to be entered to win. At the end of the show, our plucky moderator, Danielle, will be happy to select a random winner. And,
maybe she's the plucky comic relief.
Did you ever think about that? So we'll be sure to remind you periodically throughout the show, hashtag Shadowman, if you want to be entered to win. So we have more super chats, but let's get into a book review this time around.
Oh, a book review on our comic book review show.
And now, by the way, because
I meant like we're instead of just talking.
Yeah, right.
Because we could do that.
We could. Nobody would watch. Oh, so instead, we're going to talk about a book. By the way, I want to mention that we missed the past week. A couple of big time books came out past week. I don't want to spend too much time on them, but some of them were worth talking about. So we will occasionally like pepper the episode in with books that came out.
Okay.
Before that, for example, I wanted to mention that Robin #2 came out from Josh Williamson and Gleb Milyankov. I don't know how to pronounce that name, and I don't care. But basically, it's the second issue of this new status quo for Robin. He's on Lazarus.
I mean, he's dead.
He's dead. Oh, but you know what? He's on the Lazarus Island, so of course he's not dead. He wakes up. Yeah. Turns out if you are on this island, it's to the death. But also you live here and you can be resurrected. You'll always be resurrected.
It's to the pain.
Yes, it's to the pain.
No, it's actually more like a video game.
Hard to believe that this Mortal Kombat-esque book is like a video game. And it is. Josh Williamson has all but said it's Mortal Kombat in the DC universe, which sounds good to me. We get a little bit more information, not too much information about like that new character that they introduced.
Which
Flatline.
One? Okay.
But they also introduced a few others. They also established that Connor Hawke is back.
Yep.
And of course he is because everyone's back because like death metal killed everybody and brought everybody back. So whatever. Damian goes nuts. He murders everybody, shows what a badass he is. Ravager is happy to explain to Damian the rules and she offers to train him. Ultimately, Damian acts like Damian gonna Damian. He is explaining the rules of the island, and he learns that he's gonna have to go through some more changes, gonna have to grow a little bit more if he's going to get out of the series alive again. Good book. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun book. It's not like the best book on the shelf, but it is also just out of all the Damian books I've ever read, easily the best one.
Yeah, and it's a solid way to get him like having his own adventure.
Yes. Yeah. And giving him an adventure you've never seen before, which is the most important thing. Is giving you something new, fresh, and also kind of like Trojan horsing other characters into the DC universe or back into the DC universe, and giving them an opportunity. So yeah, good book. Recommend. Also, Beta Ray Bill 3 came out from Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer on colors.
Yep.
Obviously, we talked about this book because D-Dubs came on the show to talk about it. All I'll say is the book looks great, and it's a lot of fun. It continues to be as good. Any of the reviews that I gave for the last 2 issues stand. I don't want to ruin it or really get into it too deeply, but I will say it's good. It was worth having him on to plug the book because it's still good.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
I'm gonna what is it? It's Puck, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna ship Puck and Scuttlebutt.
I think you should. It's funny. I was gonna assume that it was gonna be Bill and Scuttlebutt, but I like that idea of.
I think it is, but I'm just
putting why not? There. Yeah, justice for Puck.
He's like, she seems neat,
right?
I'm like, get out there, Puck.
Good for you, Puck. You get
out
that.
There.
Get out there. Good for you. The Gray Initiate says, gotta get Tiffany's reaction to the announcement that Doctor Strange is dying this fall. As soon as I saw it, I just had to know.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be great. Who doesn't love a stunt,
right,
for your favorite character?
Yeah, who doesn't love hearing about the story and it's not a story, it's just a stunt? That's the announcement.
There's nothing about it out there.
Nope.
So it's like it could turn into something really dope.
Totally.
But like you release a teaser like that, it just feels like a cash grab. It's just like, hey, we don't know what to do with this character.
Nope.
But we feel like we should probably put something out at some point about him.
Since there's a movie and everything.
Yeah, so like forget a regular book, forget the idea of doing an original graphic novel, which Strange has taken place or part in before, and it tends to
too much acclaim.
Forget doing like a Brian K. Vaughan-esque mini series. I mean, this will probably be that kind of thing, like a mini of some sort.
Well, every Doctor Strange book of the last 20 years has been a mini.
Well, not intentionally. But no, let's just slap the died on the title.
Yeah.
Cool. Whether he does or doesn't, who cares?
Right?
I'd get that speculator market in there.
That's right.
Get
please.
that number one.
Yeah. Get some money off this character.
Such a great idea.
I don't understand. I had Mark Waid write it. What else am I supposed to do? My hands are tied. I'm out of ideas.
Cool.
I don't know. Get literally anybody.
Yeah. Find someone who has a pitch.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell Mark Waid to do it and have him whip up something over a weekend.
And if that doesn't work,
then cancel the book. We'll kill him.
And then we'll kill him.
Well, why don't we put him in a whole bunch of other books first? Just have him shoehorned into random comics.
He shows up.
Hey, you know what's going to be great though is that because Marvel doesn't care about this character, when he does die, he'll still show up in like major events and other people's like comics.
If he does or doesn't die, because like they might do like a future thing, which they've done before. But like, you know, people are already like, who will be the next Sorcerer Supreme? Like, we did that already. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted it, and moving on.
Then to set that up, literally was like, anybody can do this, and no one wanted to.
Yeah.
And so he just did it himself, and he was like, sorry, Dr. Voodoo.
But
then he became Dr. Voodoo. Because you have to be a doctor if you're the Sorcerer Supreme.
In order to be the Sorcerer Supreme.
So dumb. So yeah, we actually got into a couple of arguments on Twitter because of it, which is hard to believe because Twitter's a great, sane, rational place. Yeah, some people were just kind of like, there's a movie. He's obviously going to be back. How could pulling this kind of stunt possibly be objectionable?
I feel like some people on Twitter mistook my my GIF for something that it wasn't, which was just me being like, cool, thanks for making me feel like you literally don't know how to treat this character who you know, have had for decades upon decades upon decades, who's had very long runs, some good, some bad, but like just have no idea what to do with him right now.
Right.
And it's like, it's okay. Like I, you know, do I miss having a book with him in it constantly? Like, or like a monthly book where it's like really about him? Sure. But like, I only want it when there's a story to be told.
Yes.
Like, but that's the kind of reader I am. So for me, I was more just like, that was like supposed to be like 1,000-yard stare kind of gift.
Yeah.
Where it's like, cool. All right. Yeah. No, you've just run out of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. The house of ideas is out of them.
But again, we know nothing about it. And I knew that, like,
but that's kind of like the admission, isn't it? I mean, like if they had a really solid pitch from a terrific creative team, they'd probably just post the creative team. But instead they had an intern make a really terrible Photoshop job of the logo and the words "the death of" on top of it. So like clearly they had that idea. It was just it was Brevoort to Cebulski going like, just kill him for God's sake. Who cares? Moving on. Jesus. Yeah. Make people care by killing him. That's what they did with Superman. That worked out great. It's not an antiquated idea. Sphere mode 420. Hey, you guys rule. Do you have any thoughts on Morrison's Invisibles? Tiffany? You read some of that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You read at least the first issue because there's a review of it from Hack and Splash page.
Is there really?
Yep.
No, are you thinking that or are you thinking Nameless?
I am thinking of Nameless. We do have Invisibles, though, so I assumed that you read it.
No.
I have no opinions about it whatsoever. Deb M. can't stay, but I wanted to say I loved last week's Bill. Or BI, back issues, I see. Also, would you go to the gala if you were invited? What kind of outfit would your look like?
Yes, I would go to the gala if I were invited, and my outfit would look like it came out of my closet because I wouldn't have access to anyone to make an outfit for me. So, you know, it'd be laughable.
Well, if you got invited, I think that, well, the thing is, I think that
I'm not a mutant. I would just be like, it would just be me in like a t-shirt with like, with a cat on it being like, I didn't realize that there was like outfits.
Yeah. I mean, involved. Captain America didn't dress any more opulently than he normally does.
No, but they wore their dress uniforms in a way.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, they're good. I don't have a costume.
No.
It would just be me being like, yeah, no, you look, that's a lot happening up in this region, but like you look good.
It's only because it's humid, but it wouldn't be in Krakoa because the atmosphere is great.
No, I was saying like talking to other people at the gala.
Yeah.
You look fantastic.
Right? Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Astonishing, you might say.
And then I would be shot off of the island.
Yeah.
They
just quietly domino you.
They would fastball special me.
There you
right
go.
Off the island.
That's perfect. I will say that what's it called? Your back issues was excellent. Tiffany did the Ten of Swords. That's when that came out.
Yeah, if you're like,
what the hell happened in that book? Because I didn't read it. You should definitely check out that episode. But also read it because it's a good book. Or series. It wasn't a book. It was all the books.
It was all the books.
I took home all the books. Yeah.
Who's gonna argue?
That's right. I will say, I also wanted to talk about Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Part 1 Most Wanted.
Okay.
From Charles Soule and Luke Ross.
Here we go.
So this was...
Is this going to be a hot take?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It's hard to say, because like, I watched I've watched every episode of The Bad Batch because I have another job where I talk with Benny over on Absolutely Marvel and DC.
Yeah, you do.
YouTube channel. And we were covering The Bad Batch, and then Benny stopped liking the show, so my setting up and watching the show became irrelevant. And I was enjoying it. I was like, this is actually not bad. It's actually like a really cute, fun show. And I was enjoying that. Despite the fact that, like, there's all the Filoniisms that you could possibly imagine. But I've kind of enjoyed quite a few of the like outings on Star Wars lately.
That was 100% not the experience I had watching the show with you.
No, the pilot movie's kind of like meh.
Yeah, I watched like the pilot and we watched one episode maybe.
I think it was just.
I didn't even think we did that. Like you were just like, and we're good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but it's cute. It's fun. But I enjoyed elements of Solo. I've enjoyed Rogue One. Obviously Force Awakens I enjoyed. Then 1 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. That's more than I can say for the prequel trilogy.
They were puppets.
Yeah. Hey, they look good. They look good too. But yeah, these comics, man, I read the prelude to War of the Bounty Hunters, and that first issue, that like first prelude issue.
It's funny. I thought that was the first issue.
Yeah, me too.
When you said it was number 1, I was like, did I?
Yeah, no, all that bullshit was prelude to the event.
Oh, okay.
Which has virtually nothing to do with this. You don't have to read any of it, as it turns out, which is all the good markings of a tie-in. But it did have Steve McNiven drawing the first issue of the prelude, which is what you want, and that was really fun, and it was kind of cool. This not. Obviously, if you're going to replace Shadows of the Empire, you better have a damn good reason, and they don't. And it's funny because this issue, I understand that the canon's thrown away. Right, I get it. You can't do it. Like, you can't just do it all over again.
No.
And or at least people don't want to. And I understand it even if I don't respect it. But Charles Soule has written a lot of Star Wars since they've got the license for the comics, and he has been kind of like the arbiter of comic Star Wars for a long time. And he's done some pretty good work. And in fact, everybody really likes a lot of his stuff. Although I think most people's like strong recollection of good stuff from Star Wars from Marvel is Kieran Gillen's work.
Oh, nice.
But this was promising. At the very least, that first prelude issue was pretty cool, and this issue was awful.
Was it very cool?
No. Very cool. No, it was really bad. It was like amateurish.
Okay.
And like pedantic. I hate to say that, but like there are moments where we introduce 2 new characters, and I'm just going to read the dialogue because I need you to understand that Charles Soule is like a veteran comic book writer who has written a lot of things that you do like and has written nothing that I hate. But he says to there's 2 characters. This female character says to another character, "Can we get out of here, Tekrit? I feel like I'm going to catch something just sitting here." The other character says, yeah, Nolita, give me a second. This is some of the clunkiest, most awkward introduction of 2 character names, especially since one of them dies right after this. Who gives a flying fuck? And it's just so... And it's just, this is the book. Is just this kind of shit.
Yeah, this feels like they...
It's just one guy writing it.
It's one of those things where it's like, you may not pay attention to it too much in terms of like when characters are introduced, but if you think about the way you talk with other people, you may say their names occasionally for sure, especially in order to get their attention or to punctuate something. But like that dialogue that you just read it's very clunky. They've clearly been sitting there for a bit.
Yeah, they would never do that.
She wants to leave,
and like I get that, and that's something that's a writing device.
No, it is. But like then she should have like said his name first, like to get his attention, like, as though he wasn't paying attention.
Yes.
Like, but it doesn't really read like that necessarily.
No, it does not.
It reads like it needs to function to like let you know who these characters are so that they can go to Wikipedia.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't hurt that they also boldened their name.
Yeah.
So, you're supposed to read it. Bold is usually used for punctuation.
Yeah,
in
and like,
comics.
Maybe they're annoyed at each other.
Maybe
I have no context for these characters.
Don't worry, there isn't
I'm
any.
making it up.
But it doesn't matter. But it's just quite awful. And it's just more and more of that, and things you've seen before, things you couldn't care less about. I also feel really bad because like I like Luke Ross's pencil work. I've liked it since I read his comics from 20 years ago or more.
Yeah.
I like it so much. I'm actually going to point out, like, I literally bought a page drawn by him. Like, I don't do this. I don't buy art very often, if at all, but I did buy a page of Luke Ross's pencils and
Trying to
inks.
not get a
glare.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
There.
Yeah, it was better before.
No, this is great. They can see it. It's just, really bright.
Yeah, but it's
Nailed it.
so like I dig the dude's art, and I think that's like his work is not at fault here. It's Niraj Menon's art when they colored it.
I like the coloring.
See, I hate it. And I think it doesn't do the pencils any favors.
It may not work with this art, but I do kind of like it.
I think I get what they were going for. Was like this very kind of like washed out pastel palette here. I don't know. It's just it did not do the art any favors.
You know what it reminds me of? Kind of, in my mind's eye,
Yeah.
I guess. And like, I haven't watched this in forever, so forgive me. I don't really care if I'm wrong, but like it reminds me of Boba Fett from the holiday special.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Like that palette.
Right. And maybe that's what they're going for, but maybe don't.
Why would you do that?
Right, but maybe just don't do that, because why would you? But otherwise, like this, I don't care. This is the last issue of the War of the Bounty Hunters that you'll see of mine until we do it on back issues. But like, yeesh.
Whoa, okay.
And I haven't felt like that in a while, and I was just looking at it, I'm like, damn, like what the hell?
That's fair.
Ugh. Yeah. So let's jump into some more super chats here.
Let's do it.
Why try I Sweat? Great job on the Ten of Swords back issues, Tiffany.
Thank you.
I got it in House/Powers of 10. Ordered it right now. Can't wait for some redos of older back issues either. Long form content, guys. Thanks.
Thank you so much, and I enjoy. You got some hefty tomes on the way. Then
this is true.
They are not small books.
No,
let me tell you.
Yeah,
but it's nice.
Yeah,
like having that, like I don't know, Ten of Swords book itself, like the hardcover.
Yeah.
Like it was actually pretty easy to read. It didn't feel like so unwieldy.
No.
I have a couple of hardbound books that like I really like them, but
yeah, like I have the Onslaught omnibus. Forget it. You can't read it.
It's just rough sometimes.
No.
Yeah.
Aaron Danielson says, when are you going to reveal your fabled General Tso's pie recipe? It's literally just make pizza, but grab a General Tso's order and just dump it on top of a crust.
Yeah, there you
go. There's no effort or thought that went into it. But thank you for remembering it and digging on it, because it was a fun idea.
You know what I would recommend though, if you're going to do that, take it to the next level.
Yes.
Like you could just obviously get one of those like
Boboli or like
whatever.
No, I like the idea of getting
sponsored.
a real.
Yeah, go to the pizzeria. Ask to buy a dough.
Yes,
just get the dough. Right?
Just get the dough.
Just get the dough. Get your order, because you probably have a pizzeria and a Chinese place in town.
No doubt, right next to each other.
You get your pizza laid out. You put that on top.
Yeah.
The cheese.
And that's the thing. I didn't use any cheese.
I think you need a cheese.
I think you do too, but I don't think it's mozzarella.
It might be. I'd say a mild one. I think you need something mild.
It needs to be mild. Yeah, I think you're right.
But I think the mozzarella could be mild.
What about that? What's that Mexican cheese that you can get on like a sandwich? Yeah, cojita, something like that.
I don't think that melts well enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need something a little melty. You just don't go crazy with the cheese.
That's the thing. You need
to
really
leave
make
off the Parmesan. I don't know. We add that on later.
Yeah.
Don't put it
or
on
don't
right
do it
now.
at all.
But I'm just saying, if you want to try it, add it on after you're done.
Yeah.
Like, to an individual slice. Don't go all in on that.
This is true. Kevin Kruger, can you please bring back ComicPop Kitchen and #Shadowman? I'd like to, but it hurt the channel to make more of them, and people didn't really watch them.
I hurt the channel.
No. It was they hurt the channel by not watching.
That's the gift of.
That's why you're here. That's why we're all here on ComicPop Returns.
That's why we're over here, which I like. It's comfy.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah. Kevin also mentioned who makes the better gumbo, Gambit or Monica Rambeau? Probably Gambit.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm sure Monica has a great recipe, but Gambit's really particular with certain things. Like he's so like kind of flaky and all over the place and like loose and freewheeling.
Yeah.
But I think some things.
Yeah, like the kitchen, forget it.
And the cats.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I'm just like I feel like he'd be like, no. We have to get this from this place, this from that place, this from here. Don't touch anything.
I agree.
Rogue's like, I know I could do something. He's like, no, you can't.
No. Just
Go.
wait. Just enjoy it. Authentic apathy. Watch. They're going to introduce a resurrected 1610 Doctor Strange Jr. as our strange, illegitimate son to replace him. Ugh. Let's not do that. That one died too. And Bear F. Any thoughts on the new Inferno announcement from Hickman's X-Men? Well, that's a good transition. Let's talk about some X-Men. You've covered a lot of X-Men in the past. Let's talk about some Hellfire Gala.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to talk about X-Men 20 that came out last week?
Yes, let's talk about X-Men 20.
Because
that leads us right into it. So yeah,
because like 20 was a big book. Because,
it was.
And this is where it's like I'm getting a little like
nervous.
Not nervous. It's more that like I'm like struggling right now with like Hellfire Gala and how it's progressing, and we'll get into that in a minute. With like keeping my emotions away or like from the fact that I you can feel the end coming.
Yeah, and I'm like,
hate
not ready for that.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, is that I don't feel it coming. I see the announcement and the Mark Brooks art, and I hear the suggestion that they're going to end it with this, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like, no, it's not earned. It's not ready yet.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I guess I'm getting worried about, is like a sensation of feeling too rushed.
Yes.
But like, listen, I'm gonna ride this out, and just try to keep everything as objective as possible.
Absolutely.
Because the subjective nature to me would be that I'm just like, I'm not ready, so therefore everything's bad because I don't want to accept the end of things.
That's such a rare thing to have as a comic book fan.
I'm trying so hard, but I don't want it to end. But yeah, X-Men 20 was a big one. And the reason we definitely need to talk about that was because it like calls all the way on back to Powers of 10.
Yes, it does.
We go all the way back to Powers of 10, and we're talking about Nimrod. And like when that reveal comes of like that, I was like, oh, it's like right in front of us the entire time. And like to me, it made so much sense, especially when we see Nimrod in the future and like his like weird,
his behavior,
his strange
behavior. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Also, we're calling back to I guess House or Powers, I can't remember which one, had Mystique and Destiny involved.
Yeah.
There. So like we're winking on back to that, because obviously Hickman has many a loose thread.
Yep.
Just dangling in the air there. And even though like they're all kind of right in front of us, like oftentimes we kind of forget and don't always see the connection coming, which to me is the sign of a well-told story.
Yes. Is that like, why did I see that coming?
And like it feels earned, as opposed to like, why didn't I see that coming? Because
they left it out.
Yeah,
they omitted it.
Let me.
Sure.
But yeah. So like, I just want to talk about that only in terms of the fact that like we're dealing with two of those plot threads. We're dealing with the fact that Mystique wants to bring Destiny back, her wife, and that's never going to happen.
Well, it's not going to happen yet.
Right. Well, because Moira says it's not going to happen.
Yes.
Because obviously they would want to live there, and no one who has any sort of ability to prognosticate is allowed to be on Krakoa. And in particular with Destiny, the fact that Destiny had run into Moira before and could see this coming.
Yeah. It's almost like that whole protocol was in place just because of Moira's experience with Destiny. It's like, I don't know, it'll be weird if I say that only she can't come back.
All of them.
But I feel like when she dumped her mind into Xavier should be like, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, no Destiny. Got it.
Yeah.
What he should do is just be like, oh, there's a Kitty Pryde thing involved. She can't come back. We tried like 17 times.
Well, then how come no one else everyone else can come back?
No, look at Kitty couldn't go through the gate. We couldn't figure it out. It's going to take some time, but we'll figure it out. But she can't right now.
Right.
We tried. Not. I dare you, Mystique, to be your better nature.
Right. So we got that going on, and like Mystique has been working, sits on the Quiet Council, has been working with Krakoa in order to complete missions, in order to basically get Destiny bumped up in the queue.
Yes.
Because apparently the queue is very long, unless it's not.
Right, unless you're Apocalypse or you're a friend of Xavier.
Right. Or you're like one of the kids from Way of X.
Yes. Then it's okay.
Which it must be frustrating.
Totally.
As all get out for anyone who has someone in the queue. And we've seen that in other books. There are other characters from other books who we'll talk about later on.
Yeah.
Who want someone to come back. And the resurrection protocols, like there's this mysterious like list somewhere of individuals and when they're going to be coming back and when they aren't.
Which seems kind of arbitrary.
It does, but like I get it. Like obviously, like the 5 can only run so many resurrections in a day. They're not an Amazon warehouse.
No, but they do have like but they do ejaculate when they do it though. Like it's awesome for them. They said it's like euphoric.
Yeah, but eventually you gotta
take a break.
You gotta take a break. You gotta hydrate.
Juice,
But so like this list, no one, it's supposedly out there. It's obviously like just whoever Xavier or whoever they want to work on. And yeah, obviously between people going on missions and dying, people randomly dying, people who go through the Crucible.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there's quite a list. And during 10 of Swords, there was a delay in the list because
they destroyed all the eggs.
And so for a bit, nobody was being resurrected.
Right.
So there you go. And then you have like a couple of people who were resurrected who probably shouldn't have been and now are different.
Yes.
So resurrection has been like a hot button issue, so much so that in Way of the X we're really exploring that and what it means in terms of like religious implications, not only for like real world religions for us, but like for potential religion
for immortal mutants.
Yeah. So Mystique is set to go and destroy Nimrod because they've discovered that Orcus has like put it together so that what's her name? Gregory?
Yeah.
Is it Gregory? Gregor, Dr.
Gregor, yeah.
Wanted to bring back her husband who died in House and Powers, defending the space station that they were on to stop the
Omega Sentinel or whatever.
The
Master Mom, the Mother Mold.
Mother Mold. I was like, Master Mom.
Uh-huh.
It's Master Mom. She's gonna make you clean your room.
Oh no.
But that like she found a way through using science words and
and who gives a shit
and partitioned computers and such things to create Nimrod and put him in it.
Yep.
So he could come back. She uses as like basically like a like this is a way we can bring people back, blah. But like really, she just wants to bring her husband back and have that relationship and connection with him again. It's without even knowing it, they're mimicking what the X-Men are what the mutants are doing because it's like they create these bodies and then like the consciousness is put into it, that kind of thing. They do that. Mystique like asks Forge to make a weapon.
Yep.
They have like a back and forth there.
Sure.
And it's like a mini black hole. She goes up there and it fails because Nimrod immediately knows.
Yep. Nimrod's put online. He figures it out. He knows what's going on. Yeah. He identifies a mutant as his function as a freaking Sentinel. Yeah. No, she fails. She whizzes it.
She whizzes it. And he creates copies of himself, which like partitions his mind
and memories,
so his personality. The part it's his personality, but his personality is really just the memories and mind that he has, and like so they go into those, and so if those die, then they're lost forever, and so like they do die, of course, and so like he's really just kind of a machine. But obviously, as we've seen in the future, there's parts of him still left in there.
Yes.
She's like devastated by this.
Yep.
Just devastated, but they figure that she'll be fine.
Yeah.
They bring Mystique back, and like have Mystique say aloud like what happened. Like we want you to hear you.
We want you to explain how you failed.
Well, Tell us what happened. I think it's also they just want to hear it said out loud because it's terrifying.
Yes.
Like that Nimrod has come online.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, crap. So they're already like launching into like what they're going to need to do next. And like she's surprised somehow that they're not going to bring Destiny back.
Well, I mean, she did fail, but also what the hell?
But like they punctuated it at the beginning. Like when she went off, like you have to succeed and then we'll do this.
Yes. And then she's like,
and then you didn't succeed.
What about my wife? And he's like, what about her?
Yeah. And I mean,
it's a dick move and it's not Xavier in any way, but like, yeah.
Such a dick move.
And it's like, why are you poking the bear? Like, it's Mystique.
I know.
Like when she comes back to life, she has skulls on her head already.
Listen. Listen.
It just seems like it's really asked for.
Think about how many of their villains right now are in a place of like
euphoria and happiness.
Well, I was going to say in terms of like we see Sinister at some point.
Yes.
It's going to be a problem. Apocalypse off the table, but in another land with like crazy stronger like family.
Yeah.
And like crazy demon things and stuff like that.
Yeah, what we need is to piss off Mystique.
Listen,
instrumental
we've got a lot of other like potential villains here. And like really strong mutants who are going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Let's take the shape changer and,
Yeah, let's kick her while she's down.
Yeah, I mean at least you got Wolverine.
Yeah, great.
Who could like, sniff her out.
Yeah, kind of.
His crazy sniff powers.
Right. Well, all she needs to do is like pretend to be Exodus and say a couple of things and set things in motion. But there's also another big reveal at the end of this, which is what we finally check in with Moira.
Yeah, we see Moira.
And we haven't in a while, and she's reading these books.
Yeah.
Now we want to talk about these books because they're pretty important. Well, they're the writings of destiny. That like this is another thing. It's just maybe they know. Like maybe this is all machinations of Moira and Xavier.
It could be
that like it's not enough to not bring Destiny back, right? Because you bring back Beak and shit, but like we're gonna deliberately do this, knowing that Mystique and make Mystique an integral member of our like.
I assume they did that to like keep her
busy.
Yeah,
because I think they did it. I think they're doing it on purpose. I think they're doing it keeping her mad. And I think that like, Moira is like, these are some things that either I can check with my own experiences or that like, I don't know what's coming. So I can know what's coming next time.
Right. But these writings, which like, I don't know. It's interesting. The idea of like what these writings
represent.
What they would represent, and like if they would represent some of the other lives or what have you. But I assume she's doing some checks.
Yeah.
Doing some checks for sure.
I don't know.
She looks relaxed.
She does look relaxed. She looks a lot less stressed out than I would be if I gave Mystique a hard time and then had her stare at me the way she does. I'd be like, also, I'm a friggin' telepath and I know what she's going to do.
He's like, for right now, we're fine.
Yeah, we're right specifically right now. But then they imply by saying in a big bad teaser this fall, Inferno
is coming. And Inferno is an event that happened in the past. It involved certain players. Seems to be involving some other players as well this time around. And then we'll just see how it goes. Yeah,
I doubt it'll have anything to do with the previous Inferno, but that's like what Hickman does. That's what's so concerning for me, because my money was on Age of Apocalypse. They were going to call the big Secret Wars X-Men event Age of Apocalypse.
Right.
And I hope that's still the case, but I'm concerned based on the scuttlebutt, not to be confused with the ship that Beta Ray Bill flies in or has sex with. I'm talking about the conversation. Puck. Justice for Puck.
They haven't had any.
I know. Not yet. But this is an event. This is the Secret Wars. This could be it.
Mm-hmm.
I sincerely hope not, because I feel like Hickman would not set up all this backstory for Apocalypse that would contradict things that people vehemently say is contradictory to Apocalypse's character, only to then go like, oh, I'll just leave it up there and just see who wants to come back and do it. Maybe Bendis wants to write an event with the Apocalypse family.
I agree.
No.
I also don't want it to be where he doesn't get a chance to finish it. Like he either goes to a different project, or
I feel like there's no way that he's just going to leave.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if this is the end, at least it'll be him doing it.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I just want to talk about that because that was a big one.
It was.
It's so funny with the main X title, how it's like either be like a mind blower or like just a waste of like pages sometimes.
Yeah. And it's interesting. What does it mean to burn down Krakoa? I mean, Krakoa is a living character. It's interesting.
Krakoa's like,
yeah, right? Like, what about Arakko? What about Okara?
She's not going over
but
there.
I'm just saying, like, what about all the islands? What about the pieces of it? Like,
right. Well,
will
the
nation be destroyed? What's going to happen? Are they going to Genosha this place again?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They'll just go to Arakko.
Right.
She's not going over there.
No.
They'll kick her butt.
Oh, yeah. So that was last week with X-Men.
Yeah.
But it does dovetail nicely, because that was the one where they're like, this is the thing that's coming in fall.
Yeah. Hang on. Now we're gonna have a big party, which I kind of love that.
Yeah.
About them, because it's like that is so in keeping with the X-Men and like their current state of mind right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's celebrate while we're down. Yeah. Or like we're about to be.
Right.
But it's exciting.
For sure.
But yeah, the Hellfire Gala.
Do you want to do that? Where do you want to go next?
I guess we should talk about Marauders. I don't have it here, but like.
So wait, I think we should do these
X-Force
in order. And
I think it's only three. I think it's Marauders, X-Force, and Hellions.
So this is what I'm not digging about this. I believe it's Marauders, X-Force, and then Hellions. Yeah. What I'm not digging about this is like how with Sword, like Ten of Swords, you had a numbered.
It was very
clear which ones you were meant to read in what order. Now that could just be saying that it doesn't really matter.
I think it doesn't matter.
Because for me, at least with Marauders and X-Force, they felt like I was watching a play or like I was watching one of those movies where we see something from a different perspective.
Yes.
So like, while I'm sure for a lot of folk, it was like, they're just retreading stuff we already saw. I'm like, this just feels like it's like, yeah, but I'm getting the rest of the scene.
Exactly.
Or I'm getting it from a different perspective, because we do. Like,
we got Iron Man when he shows up.
Iron Man, Kid Omega, we see like kind of the rest of it play out differently from X-Force, and then we kind of see the resolution of it as well.
Yes. And X-Force was funny because X-Force is very much through and through an X-Force book.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of expecting it to be like Ten of Swords, where it doesn't necessarily matter what title you're reading because you're just reading a chapter in the Hellfire Gala, but like, no, that's not what this is. Well, it's not an event.
That's funny because it's like the Hellions book does exactly that, and that's exactly what the Hellions book
did. It's a Hellions book.
Ten of Swords,
that's true.
Ten of Swords, they just did their own thing. They happened to move to another place, and they set some stuff up, which actually is paid off in the Hellions book.
Yes.
A little bit. We get a little something there. But like their book in particular, they just do their own thing.
Right.
They're the Hellions. They're the reject team. I love them so much. But Marauders definitely treated it much like that, where they're just like, here's the kickoff. Here we go. Like the gala has begun. Like X-Force let everybody through. We see the Avengers show up.
Yep.
The way they're able to get through the gate is they have a flower they wear in their lapel, and they get to go through that way. And they show up. And
unless you're Iron Man, you're like, pass, I'll just fly in.
Yeah. Yeah. or you're the Fantastic Four who do the same thing.
Yes, and I love that because in the fallout of Fantastic Four X-Men from Zdarsky, we have a great interaction, I think, in this one where Reed meets up with Xavier, and Xavier's like, "I'm a dick, don't forget," in my opulent costume, and Reed's like, "I'm going to tell you something that just scribbles. We don't know what he says."
I know.
I'm excited because that means we're going to pay it off. We're going to do something with that.
Right.
We have a lot of focus on Doom in this issue.
Yeah, Doom shows up in this issue. Well, they didn't want to invite him.
Yeah, because he was a dick in the last story
also,
arc.
Also, you got Doom, so I get why they might want to put focus on that.
Yeah.
Strange shows up.
Yes. Did you like the line for Strange?
Yes.
Finally.
I did.
I'm not overdressed.
I very much appreciate it. He said, "I'm underdressed."
Yes.
And I was like, that must be nice for him.
Yeah.
Because even in a room full of superheroes.
Yeah, he feels a little garish.
It's a little much.
Yeah. Agreed.
There's obviously a lot of like dignitaries there, politicians from around the world, because the key to this event is not only to host a big special party where Emma gets to have 3 costume changes, but also to settle some of the political issues they have and to like maybe build some new bridges and or possibly destroy some new bridges. I don't know. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's supposed to be like kind of political intrigue.
Yes. Yeah, because Emma's good at that, and the idea of the Hellfire Club using debauchery and parties as a parlay to like settle things that wouldn't normally work in a more official setting.
Yeah,
it's par for the course. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
I think that Emma's costume changes in this issue, by the way, are better handled than the last one, because in the X-Force book,
that's the next one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the next one. It's confusing because they muddle it. Like they screw it up.
So like didn't muddle for me, but I knew she had 3 changes.
Yeah.
I knew she had 3 costumes.
Right.
I was like, no, this is just the evening's progressing.
Yeah. No, but like they mess up where she's doing one thing and she's, you know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I was gonna say like her in one she incorporates her secondary mutation into her costume.
Right, she does, but she does that for a reason.
Okay, but she does that for a reason in the other issue because
in X-Force
she does that because it's not in coordination with the costume that she's doing.
No, she does it for a reason.
Okay, all right.
We'll get to that. But yeah, Emma has 3 different costumes. Did you have a favorite?
They're all. I think
more naked. The more
this is true. I gotta tell you, I think the diamond outfit idea was the most, because the fur was like ridiculous. I felt like there was no way it would actually work.
Well, that's what makes it so spectacular. Yeah. It's Emma.
I guess the second one's the most iconic, but the third one, I loved the idea of her using her diamond form incorporated into the costume. I was like, that's a really clever use of her power and idea, but I think the second one with the interpretation of her mind powers incorporated into like a headwear, I was like, that's solid.
Also like an X.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that one too.
I like that one too. That's my favorite.
That
so it's the cover of this episode.
Yeah, right. Regardless, like the only reason I'm bringing that up is because like her costume changes are only important in terms of like it helps you to progress through the evening.
Yeah.
Because this issue actually takes you through the end of the evening, but you're missing huge gaps.
Yes.
Here. Which again is maybe why I'm thinking of it more like a vignette movie or like a play of some sort where it's like something's gonna happen.
Yes.
And we're gonna fill it in.
Right.
And we're gonna fill it in as we go. So I don't know. There's a performance by a mutant, including Jean and the Stepford Cuckoos.
Yes.
They don't call them that.
No.
They call them their other name, the 5 in 1. And it's like this cool like Disney style like light and music show where...
Yes, and if the butterfly hits you, you experience what it's like to be that person.
Yeah, to like be able to play an instrument. I was like, that's a neat idea. Was fascinating because I am so not musical. I would love to have that experience, to understand what it is to be able to like see and understand the language of music and then to like reproduce it or create it. I was like, that's cool. I would totally be down for that.
I like Doom being like, meh.
Yeah. No.
No.
Like he's just such like
he's really stewing in it.
He's
it's
a curmudgeon.
Great. I love it.
There's a dice game going out with some of the like characters and like thing shows up. I like that.
Yep, I like that too.
He's like he enjoyed the butterfly thing and then he's like, I gotta get out of here.
All right, there's enough of that.
This is too much for me.
Yeah.
Very Bruce Willis. I love this like moment between Emma and Banshee.
Yeah, they ran Generation X together in the Boston Institute.
I thought that was fun. Emma is being an active host. Like she's hosting the Hellfire Gala, even though technically so were Sebastian, I guess. And
yeah, but I don't want to cart
Kitty.
Sebastian over to
Yeah,
anybody.
but I'm just saying, like, she's really the mastermind behind this. And like, so she's like working the room, but like she immediately sees
Steve
Doom and Captain America like
about to having a problem.
Yeah, and so she goes over there to like
smooth things over.
Yeah, well, to
cool
kind
it down.
Like, yeah, just like be like, oh hi, whatever. So she ends up like talking to Steve. Shi'ar shows up with like a gift, which we see later on.
Yes.
But she like, I have been in this situation, but I don't have telepathy.
No.
And maybe not this exact situation, but where someone's like, oh, I got the thing that you blah 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 blah, and I'm like, yeah,
right, the thing. Like she's just,
zero.
The conversation she has with her brother in their minds is great.
Yeah, with Christian, she gets help immediately with that. I love seeing, by the way, the costumes that we saw in that Hellfire Gala
like preview
thing, like in the background, which must have been really helpful for all the artists.
Totally.
To be able to just reference what background
what they're looking like
they can use and like just plop them in. Like there's like one with Jubilee, and I was like, oh hey, it's Jubilee, and I know who it's her.
Yes.
We have a moment where the Cuckoos perform a little. They make a decision.
Yes.
They make some decisions, and we don't see what comes of that. What the outcome
fallout
of that is. I love this scene. This is like I'm focusing on all the wrong things, everybody. But Stephen Strange was in this book, so obviously you saw, or you knew that I saw him talking to Rogue.
Yeah,
who I also love.
Right.
I'm like,
that's a great combo. I've never seen that before. How fun.
Imagining Gambit like on his way over.
No.
No,
Steve, go away.
No, listen. I respect you and, and your moves, sir, but this is my wife now.
Pick a card.
No, she's Rogue's too good for that.
Yeah. No.
No, she'd like let it go on for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that would be it.
Sure, like I'm married.
But inevitably, like we skip to the end of the evening.
Right.
And then we see the end of the evening, everyone's like,
it's a disaster.
Yeah, and everyone like needs a moment. But like honestly, like Cyclops and Steve end on a handshake, and they're like, you solved some problems here, but you also made some other ones.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I also liked the moment where Emma's talking to the dignitary, and the dignitary tries to be diplomatic, and she says, say what you mean, and she just openly, because she uses her mind to do it.
Yeah.
Like, speak your mind. It's like, you've ruined relations with mutants for a long time. Goodbye.
Right.
It's like, we'll have a lovely evening.
Also, we see that like Emma like notices that like Steve gave her a look, like Steve Rogers, and like she's like, I never really considered him.
Yeah,
like, that is America's ass,
right? Exactly.
But then she realizes that like I guess she reads his mind.
Yes, and she's like, oh no,
he thinks of like his mother, but like when she was young.
Yeah, but like she, turn of the century, last century.
It did not do any favors for anyone in that situation.
That's fine. Steve would not sleep with Emma.
No. And I was she talking to Kitty?
Yeah.
About it?
Yeah.
And like essentially like Kitty's like, he likes football and like eats like hot dogs or whatever she says.
He likes baseball.
He drinks milk.
He drinks
likes
milk.
Baseball. I got everything wrong there. I don't know your sports.
He probably likes football.
I don't know your sports balls, okay?
Yeah, no.
You hit the puck into the thing, the field goal.
Yeah. You win the game.
No, that like he drinks milk.
Yeah.
And like he likes baseball. He's just all American, just a simple
guy. It would not work.
No, Emma. She's like, and I think part of it is Emma's like,
yeah, I know.
It's gonna be a beautiful disaster.
Yes, exactly. Spectacular wreck.
But that's it. Like we just kind of do like a little bit of an overview setup to this.
Yeah.
In a way, where it's like, hey, this is kind of what we're going to be getting into a little bit. You see some of the players involved, and the evening doesn't go quite as planned.
Exactly.
And seemingly the rest of the books will be filling in that time frame, which they do.
Yeah.
Well, at least two of them did.
Yeah. And one of them was X-Force.
Yeah.
By the way, who made that book?
Oh, that I want to say it was Jerry Duggan with art by Matteo Lally.
Nice. And, of course, X-Force number 20 from Benjamin Percy and Joshua Cassara. This is just an X-Force book, but also during Krakoa, so we get a lot of Beast and the subplot of that story. And, like, I haven't read any X-Force except for, like, the last one we read. months ago, where they dealt with like plant people and stuff.
It's not them.
I thought it was them. I thought it was the plant things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like the where they used.
I have read some X-Force.
Okay,
so
good.
It wasn't that. No, it was it was like issue 10 with the Terra Verde island or like country.
Yeah, where they were hostile to mutants, and then he's like, I'll just not.
Because they were creating their own plant tech stuff, and then Krakoa showed up with like their ability to actually do it and like ruined them.
Yes.
And so, but Beast decided all on his own that like,
I'll use them. Like I'll manipulate it to have a friend in another international place.
Except then he like ends up like killing. Yeah. He like makes one of them brain dead, and that's what makes Jean quit. By the way, Jean has quit now X-Force and
the Quiet Council. Yeah. Eventually she'll quit Krakoa. She'll move to Arakko.
And become the Phoenix.
Yes.
Because they'll be like, we are all about Phoenix on this island.
Right? That'd be awesome. That'd be fine with me.
She's super powerful and super hot.
It makes more sense than Echo being Phoenix, I'll tell you that. Jason Aaron.
But essentially Beast is like, hey. I know we all pretended like maybe lessons were learned, but I didn't really I don't learn any lessons.
Yeah.
He was going to use the plant tech here, which he has had like Sage and himself have taken over in order to
infect
some of the diplomats there so that they can get additional intel and maybe even make some new allies. Yeah,
gross. Thanks a lot, Beast. And Emma's like...
Emma's the one that figures it out.
Emma figures it out, and she's like, "Oh my god!"
But that's why she goes diamond form, because she knows Sage is in like the mode of like listening and like paying attention to everything. Yeah. And she doesn't want her thoughts to be read by anyone. Right. And she's piecing it together. I see. And that's why that's how she's able to sneak up on Sage.
Right. Because she's a diamond. That's cool.
She's like, I'm not going to use my psychic powers on her. It's not going to get me my information fast enough. I'll just physically intimidate her.
Right. Which is fair.
But that's why she goes like diamond there.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you. We get a fun Wolverine versus Deadpool fight.
Yeah, because Deadpool, look, if you were reading Kelly Thompson's Deadpool, there is like a moment where he tries to get on Krakoa.
Yep. Yeah.
He's like, I'm a mutant. They're like, no, you're not.
Yeah. It's like, people don't know that.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. But they have a fun fight. Emma intimidates Sage. Domino gets involved, helps Wolverine out. Burns Deadpool.
Yeah, knowing that he's fine.
Knowing that he's going to be fine. And
basically Emma intimidates Sage because she wants her to explain what they're doing.
Yes.
And when it's revealed what they're doing, she tells her to stop it, but it's too late.
Yep.
Someone has already hacked the plant tech.
Yes.
And turned one of the people, one of the dignitaries, into a plant monster.
Yes. So this might be the problem. This might be the issue that takes place. I don't think so. I think this is a quiet problem. But we'll see what happens.
This is not a very quiet problem.
No. But that's the big thing.
It's like literally not a quiet problem even remotely.
Yeah. So that was X-Force.
Yeah.
Kind of a whatever issue, but still.
X-Force, it's I think we needed it to explain some of the things that are going on, because like I said, like it has that play vibe to it where it's like things are happening over here. Now let's go over here and look at what's happening here. And like it's like Clue, but not even remotely.
No, it's true. Yeah.
I also agree. I had X-Corp thoughts as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Did you read Hellions?
Of course I did.
Well, talk about Hellions.
Hellions, probably a lot of folks' favorite book because it just kind of sticks with the characters you know from Hellions. If you've been reading Hellions, there's a party involved, and like only some of the Hellions are invited. If you looked at that preview thing where you saw like folks' costumes, you saw that Sinister had one, Havoc had one, and Psylocke had one.
Yes.
And so like they were obviously going, but no one else is. And like, why would you ever invite Wild Child, Empath, Grey Crow, Nanny, or Orphan Maker? Like you just wouldn't.
And they didn't.
You just wouldn't, especially not Empath.
No.
You can't have Empath there.
No.
You can't. And like Wild Child, Nanny, and Orphan Maker, nope. Maybe Grey Crow, but I feel like why would he even care about that?
Exactly.
Except when he sees Psylocke, because clearly there's like something going on there. Like she's in like this stunning, super low cut dress, and he's like,
"Yeah, and
we should all have a drink right now."
His tongue rolls out of his head. He turns into an old wolf. He hits himself over the head with a mallet. It's quite embarrassing.
But inevitably, he drinks enough that he gets enough courage. That he's like, because he's supposed to be in charge of like the remainders. And he's like, "We're going."
Yes.
He's like, I have to see her.
Yeah.
He doesn't say that.
No, but we all know.
That's what it is. And so they go, like, and Havoc has been like harassing Charles about why Madeline can't be resurrected.
Exactly.
And by the way, I believe that we saw one of the Inferno previews that she's involved.
Oh yeah. Well, but she was integral in the last Inferno.
Well, but I'm also thinking that Havoc and Mystique have that thing in common.
Yeah, they have people they want to be resurrected that aren't being resurrected.
Right? So you got that going on. But as Xavier is talking to Havoc, Xavier's like, "Oh, it looks like the rest of your team's here," and they're like,
"Oh, they shouldn't be."
Oh no!
Yeah,
it's the worst thing ever because honestly,
it's the drunk uncle at a wedding.
It's exactly what it is with a toddler.
Yeah.
So they immediately all just kind of fan out a little bit. I gotta give it to Nanny though.
Yeah.
She goes at this in all the right ways up until she gets hammered. Because
ain't it always the way?
You see Sinister chatting up Black Panther and Thor and talking about how awesome he is and he's a geneticist and blah blah blah. And they're just kind of chatting with
they're
him.
Being nice.
And then Nanny comes in and mentions that he's a child murderer and all this stuff, and the two of them just bail.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, this is gonna be me for the rest of the evening.
Right.
Anyone you talk to,
I'm gonna ruin it.
I'm gonna be here."
Yeah.
I'm like, I love that so much because Sinister.
He sucks.
He's such a dick. He's such a dick.
That's right.
We see Betsy and Quanon run into one another. Betsy, of course, to me looks like a Lady Gaga, Just Dance costume.
Sure.
So, that's right. Kid Omega realizes the team is here and has to leave. Psylocke, threatens him with letting was it Esme? No, is it Esme? Which of the Phoebe? Which cuckoo is it? God damn it, they all look the same.
Yes.
To threaten Phoebe, or threatens him with telling Phoebe what he thinks of her dress.
Right.
They're not dressed great. But they were supposed to have a second change, but that none of them want to do it. That's what they were discussing earlier.
Okay.
We see that too, though, that the cuckoos are running active sweeps on certain things, and they're picking up gossip.
Yeah.
So when Wild Child runs into Aurora,
yes,
who is part of the is she part of the New Mutants team? No, she's part of X Factor.
Yeah.
And they used to be a thing.
Yes.
And he's like, hey, she gets really upset because it wasn't a good time for her.
Nope.
And she flees. They immediately are like, oh, dude, you see that? In their minds. And I'm like, this is the worst high school ever.
Right.
This experience right here. Nope.
Yeah.
Havoc tries Magneto next.
Uh-huh.
Polaris ends up chatting with him about that and how it's listen, it's a thing. Because they keep saying the reason that Madeline can't come back is because she's a clone.
Right.
But they brought X-23 back.
Yeah.
But X-23 had to go on a special mission.
Yeah, we needed her for something.
We basically made her live through a century of life.
Yes.
I think she gets a pass regardless of the fact that they just don't want to bring Madeline Pryor back.
Yep.
I think for reasons.
Naturally.
Inevitably, everything kind of breaks down as Nanny becomes drunk. Orphan Maker wants to have alcohol but isn't allowed to, so Empath makes him think that he's drunk by using his powers, and so he's running around yelling about how much he loves bananas and other such things. Wild Child talks to Grey Crow about Aurora being he's no, you just gotta go for it, man.
Right.
And Psylocke's that was really nice.
Yeah.
It was legit. It was he actually cared. He thought this
was a good idea.
For you.
Yeah.
And when Wild Child goes over there, she Aurora hears the voice of an unseen character, and it's Daken, and those two are together.
Yeah.
And that
sets him off.
That sets off everything. Empath runs into two characters that he once used to then kick his ass.
Yep.
So inevitably, Magic is asked to use her sword and get rid of everyone.
Yes.
Except for I think Havoc stays behind. But what's important is then there's fireworks, which they don't get to see, but Psylocke uses her powers because it's all not real fireworks.
Yes.
It's psychic fireworks, so they get
Sure.
to see it and how nice. And you're that's nice. and then we see the reveal that Sinister's there, and you're but Sinister's at the party. What Sinister is this? Well, this is the Sinister that went on the Ten of Swords adventure, ended up in Amenth, made it all the way through Otherworld, got to Amenth, and then got sliced up.
Yes.
He's back.
Okay. Uh-oh.
How'd he get put back together?
Yeah.
And how messed up is he? So I'm like, that's dope, and that's setting up something else I'm sure the Hellions are going to have to deal with.
No doubt.
And needless to say, we knew that the Hellions, like, there was an issue involved with this, and like they weren't invited to the party. So I knew something like this was going to go down. You can't have those characters there.
No.
They're just disasters.
Yeah, exactly. One would argue why they're a team at all.
Because they're fun.
Exactly. No, I know.
Because they're fun.
Yeah.
Because they need something for these characters to do.
Right?
Because they're here.
Yeah, that's true. You can't get rid of them.
You can't get rid of them.
You can't get rid of anybody now.
No, you put them in the hole.
You
That's
stick 'em in the hole.
what they were. This was the option.
Oh.
You had, like, most of them were going to be the exile. But
Yeah.
they decided to do this instead.
Nice. I'll name the channel later. Says, why is the rest of the non-mutant world tolerating the mutants? Storm stole from Wakanda. They tried kidnapping Franklin. They attacked Reed. Seems like they're making more enemies than not. When you have power, you can swing it around a little more than most, and mutants are feeling their oats, so
Well,
I get it.
You have to not forget as well the other side to this, though, where people would like to go to Krakoa who are mutants and aren't allowed.
Yes.
And so there's a lot more of that going on than what the mutants are doing.
Right.
Because like we've seen it in like Marauders time and time again, where it's like mutants who just want to go and their countries won't let them leave.
Exactly. Marley Talbot, hey, have you finished? Have I read any of those Firefly comics? Love the show. Yes, I've read some of the Firefly books that are from Boom Studios. They're fine, if not great. I think that Firefly only has like 1 season and a half of story, honestly, at this point. I never liked any of the Dark Horse books.
Mhm.
I don't like any of the books from Boom.
Mhm.
So there you
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
Young Goku over 9,000. Inferno's a 4-issue miniseries. Feels like a middle than an end. Or we're getting the X-Men team finally can't be an end. Plus Franklin.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll
See what
extrapolate
happens.
more on my feeling of like it coming to an end. You know how in any plot,
Yep.
you like climb to
Yes.
the top there, and then you end up going on. I feel like Ten of Swords was kind of that, like, the good times.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And now it feels like we're starting down that other side of like it's gonna be nothing but problems from here on out.
Yeah.
And so like that to me is what's sad. Is
Yeah.
that like, we're gonna start seeing possibly more fracturing of teams, of characters, of Krakoa itself. And so like it's just more that I'm like, I was kind of enjoying. I knew peace can't last forever in a comic book and in the world that they've created, but it was fun while it lasted.
That's true.
So
John Chung, love the new episode of Back Issues. Got Ten of Swords on sale through the link. Thanks for Tiffany.
Oh, no
I
problem. There's one below that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Kali Frederick says, who do you think the character was shot more? Who do you guys think character was shot more before and still with the former, Cyclops or Beast? As a big Scott fan, it was rough for a long time.
Character assassination?
I guess Beast. I mean, Cyclops had a hard time, but Beast never really got like a redemption. No one ever said #Beast was right. So I'm thinking it's Beast. Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I think though that when you have with Beast now, it's like if you haven't really been following X-Men, you still have a really positive vibe from like anything you might have seen from the past, especially in terms of like the way he was portrayed in cartoons and other things.
Right. Like your mind's eye of Beast is very different from the comic book
Right.
Beast.
Or it could be. But with like Cyclops, he's always been uptight.
Yeah.
And so like there's a really there's a stigma around.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. No, I agree though. In terms of comics, it probably is Beast.
Totally. The new Ethan says, "Hey Tiffany and Sal, hope you're both doing well. Wondered what your thoughts on Immortal Hulk were. I just started and loving it so far. Also wanted to know if you guys if I thought I could just read X-Men. I've been collecting month to month. Not sure if I should try to read all the titles. Immortal Hulk is cool. I'm happy to see that Al Ewing got to tell his magnum opus in one shot. And yeah, I don't think you can read X-Men all by itself, but I feel like if you read like Hawks and Pox and then just read the X-Men title, it's pretty much a direct line. It doesn't really.
You could do Hawks and Pox just to understand the context for the world. Then you could pick up X-Men. However, once you hit Ten of Swords,
it's gonna be.
You just have to grab the
Ten of Swords,
the trade of it in order to read it, because that would cross all of the
other titles,
all the other titles that were going on. And it does inform certain things. It still remains to be seen how much it informs. But like if you're maybe you'd be okay.
I think you'll be okay if you only care about the Moira stuff. But even then,
check out X-Men and then decide whether or not you want to read Ten of Swords.
Yeah. Patrick Lawson just finished Tiffany and the Gang's X of Swords. So fun. Still working on Marvel Alliance 3. How old is that game?
I don't think it's as old as we think it is.
No, it's like maybe 2 years.
But I've already completely forgotten about
You're right.
it.
Well,
and
because
like
it was very forgettable.
And then I feel bad because I wanted that to be so good.
Yeah, we all did.
I found a picture of my team the other day.
Oh.
I was like, oh, man.
Cully Frederick also says, met later Beast. Can't wait. Can't stand what he tried to pull. Yeah, I know. It's rough.
Yeah.
I should also mention, I'm just going to talk really briefly about.
Before you get into it, I wanted to ask you what your just general vibes were about Hellfire Gala so far.
I expected to be more. I mean, like Marauders was I think the closest we're going to get to seeing the party.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's too bad because it was a lot of hype. And a lot of like preview stuff just for the party.
Right. Which is, it's funny because it's like going into this having read all of Ten of Swords and then having reread all of Ten of Swords. Like
it feels a little scattered.
A lot of folk with Ten of Swords got lost early on because they felt like there was so much of it, first of all, when I think we all know that. There's like 22 parts.
22.
But that also there was a lot of setup. But it was
Yes.
like setup that was warranted and it was like kind of a direct path. This just felt weirdly launched.
Yeah, it just felt like it was kind of an afterthought.
We've been working towards it. If you're reading X Factor, obviously we've been dealing with like some of the setup there, here and there with it, like Marauder, same thing. But like it just kind of starts, I feel like, without it being numbered the same way the Ten of Swords was. It's just maybe the feeling I feel is that like it's not quite as cared for as Ten of Swords was. Like Ten of Swords almost felt like it was more like a passion project. Yeah, like Teenie Howard really wanted to tell this story more. Teenie and
Hickman.
Hickman both seem to really, really want to tell that story.
I agree. Whereas Hellfire Gala is kind of like just this thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, like, it doesn't have, not everything has to be the biggest, most important thing. And Hellfire Gala shouldn't be because it's like a party. Who cares? But it feels really scattered. It feels kind of all over the place.
Just because it is a party and like because of how much I enjoyed the dinner party issues from Ten of Swords.
Like an event or a moment like that sounds really cool.
Yeah, because I really got a kick out of it.
Well, character interactions and stuff. We're not getting nearly enough.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I am not saying I don't like it, but I'm just saying like I'm having a different feeling from it than I did when we launched the Ten of Swords.
Yes. Bear F says, have you seen the news for the new Hulk and Venom? Yes, Donny Cates and Al Ewing are swapping places, and Al Ewing's doing Venom, and Donny Cates is doing Hulk. Looks like the issue for Ryan Ottley was not that it was Marvel, but in fact just what the direction for Spider-Man was going, which doesn't surprise me in the least because Ryan Ottley is joining Donny Cates to do the Hulk series.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Hilarious. Speaking of which, Amazing Spider-Man number 67 from Spencer and Ferreira. This issue was like 17 issues in one, which if you want to get some bang for your buck, you will get. But it reminded me why this book is so divisive and such a problem for me. I can't say I enjoyed it, so I will not. Moving on to the next thing. I guess we'll talk about Heroes Reborn really quick. Jason Aaron and R.M. Quera. If you ever wanted to read Batman in the Marvel Universe, everybody says that Moon Knight is Batman. Nope, Nighthawk is the Batman in the Marvel Universe, especially the Nighthawk in Heroes Reborn number 5. Every issue of Heroes Reborn is an issue in which they highlight a DC character in the Marvel Universe, and then 2 issues of story, which is all set up. It is a waste of money. Don't waste your money. Unless you wanted to read about Batman in the Marvel Universe and how they didn't want to use Spider-Man, so they crammed Spider-Man elements to the Batman thing, which I don't particularly disagree with because I've always felt that Spider-Man and Batman are like 2 sides of the same coin. This issue is kind of fun in like context, but also it would be a complete waste of your money if you were hoping to get a story out of it. Batman Catwoman number 5 came out. It was equally good. If you are not enjoying it, you won't enjoy this. If you did enjoy it, or at the very least, if you're enjoying King's work, it is more the same.
Okay.
Did we talk about Strange Adventures? Because if not, it's great. That's all they need to say.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got there. I also, just really quickly, because we're kind of coming to the end here, I read The Swamp Thing.
The Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Yes, with 2 Swamp Things now.
And Perkins. Yeah. If you were liking it, you're going to like this. You're going to get a lot more explanation for certain things. You're going to watch, this Swamp Thing kind of tap into the green a little bit and get some more deets on his situation. However, it falls into the trope for me, and maybe it's just because I'm thinking of that Man Bat book that came out.
Yeah.
Where it was like we had one issue and then it was like, hey, here comes the Suicide Squad. Guess what?
Hey, here comes the Suicide Squad.
Cool.
Synergy.
It's just like I'm like, I was really like, and I'm not saying it's not going to be good. And and I'm not saying there isn't a reason for it to happen necessarily, but it does feel like one of those things where it's like, it's Swamp Thing and the Suicide Squad.
Right. If you're not buying that, I mean,
Yeah, like, hey, you like that? You like them?
I guess. I was kind of reading a Swamp Thing book right now.
You want to hang out with them?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's the movie Suicide Squad. Way to go.
So, like, I was like, aw.
You know what? No one is going to be convinced to go see the Suicide Squad by reading this other Swamp Thing book.
No, well, maybe you'll pick up the Swamp Thing book.
Maybe cram them into the Justice League comic.
Well, maybe you'll read the next one because I'm sure that's when they'll show up. But because it was the last page reveal.
That sucks.
Like, we went on this like dope adventure through the green.
Yeah.
This was the last. I was like, okay, cool.
Cool. Russell Simmons, I wish Sabretooth was invited to the party because cats are cool.
I think he's in a hole.
He's in a hole. He can't be invited to anything.
He's like, they're like always there.
That's true. Yeah.
Actually, they're not because they're not on the island.
No. Mega Drybone just donating. I enjoy the ComicPop team. Well, we enjoy you. Thank you, man.
So much.
And Dan V900, are you taking the reveal in Strange Adventures 10 at face value? It's great, but I know hardcore Adam Strange fans are hoping it's not true. I couldn't care less. Works for me. So yeah, thank you for your question. Let's talk about Shadowman number 3, of course, from Cullen Bunn and John Davis Hunt. Hashtag Shadowman if you want a copy of this golden first issue. Oh, hashtag Shadowman. If you live in the continental United States and you're still here at the end of the show.
Yeah, these are all the things that must happen.
It must happen in order for you to
These are the things that must happen.
These are the things. So yeah, Shadowman number 3. The idea here, of course, this book is on sale. Not this one, but Shadowman number 3 is on sale on June 23rd, 2021. It is the penultimate issue of the first arc of Cullen Bunn's spiritual Shadowman series. So if you're interested, here we go. Let's talk about it. It continues from the last issue, which was it's all felt kind of like episodic, although there's only 3 issues so far, where Shadowman is going to different places in the vicinity of his like kind of wheelhouse and solving these problems and of monsters, demons, Loas coming in from the dead side. He encounters a fun character that, like, for me, I was like, oh, that's like a neat idea. Like, it was like a Blacktop Bill or a character that, you know, is ridiculous, who had a number of like nicknames. Also, this book jumps around a little bit, like in terms of time.
It does.
Right. And that was a little jarring, but like, it didn't take much for me to recover.
No, because they do like a then.
Yeah, then, now. And that's fine. But yeah, they encounter this dude who is like, I don't know. He's like what do you want to call him? He's like a biker. He's not really a biker.
It made me think of like a Valiant Universe kind of version of, even though it's not this at all, but like it immediately made me think of the Saint of Killers.
Yes.
Like immediately, and it's probably just a hat.
Yeah.
It's just a hat and a guy.
Yeah.
Like, who comes out of nowhere. Like, yeah. Even not even remotely the same characters, but that's where my brain went. I was like, cool.
But he calls himself a few things because that's his job. He's taken it upon himself to destroy or to stop Loas. Yeah, which is the demon that attaches to your soul and blah blah blah. But yeah, he calls himself. I'm the Whirlwind. I'm the Big Nasty. I'm the Reckoning. And I'm like, I guess I'm just so influenced by the Scott Snyderisms of like comics now. Yeah, I'm like, which one is it? Because obviously all of those could be your name. And then he ends up calling himself the pallbearer, and of course, oh yeah, that's right, because he has a spiritual coffin, which he uses to like unleash Loas to attack Shadowman, and it's pretty fun. Baron Semity has been this kind of like, is he there? Is he not? Kind of spiritual. First of all, he's a villain of Shadowman, but also he's been here kind of like as the Greek chorus, goading Jack on, and like teasing the issues at hand and the undercurrent thereof, and kind of like guiding the plot forward. Jack runs into another fun character, and that character can also see Baron Semity. Yeah. This character was actually called over from previous series, which is fun. There's actually a lot of that in this book.
I think it's from Punk Mambo.
From Punk Mambo, that's right.
Yeah, which Bun also read.
That's right. Makes sense.
Wait, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did
he?
He wrote
No,
Roku.
he wrote Roku.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm
Never
taking
mind.
that back.
But
taking it back.
Taking it back. Anyway, but they're getting
talking about Roku. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, so ultimately, Jack comes to a fun conclusion of how to defeat the pallbearer. Does so, and and gets teases to the next big problem, which have been like each problem has been like a kind of episodic TV monster of the week.
Yep.
This issue finally unveils the curtain as far as is this bigger?
Right.
And I would say
it's pretty big.
It's the biggest.
It's the biggest. This is their Fortnite event.
Yeah, it is their Fortnite event. Where basically,
and I mean that in a good way, where it's like it's a problem for everybody.
Yeah, but what's interesting is apparently this is also like for me, I think it's a big retcon because it's saying that like because
it's changing something, and so like without us spoiling
I don't want to
it
spoil
for you, it does seem to make a change.
Yes, which is
if you're a fan of, you might want to go find out what it is.
Yeah, and has larger implications for the Valiant universe, which is kind of cool.
It is.
I love that one of them runs through where they are. Like, that's a neat idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
Neat idea.
They're like monstrous ley lines.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. Overall, if you have been enjoying Shadowman, you're going to love this issue. If you are on the fence, I'd say check out at least the first 2 issues because you're going to be...
Yeah, you're only 2 behind right now.
That's true.
You got a couple of weeks before you be 3.
Right?
Don't want to let that happen.
If I could ding it on anything, I got a couple of issues.
Oh boy, here we go.
Now, I do not want to call out, but I will, the letterer, Clayton Coles, because he does a great job throughout the book.
Yes.
Everyone's narration bubbles. I love that.
Yeah.
But... the context page.
Oh, I didn't like that.
Okay, so first of all, John Davis Hunt draws a baller-looking Baron Samedi.
Yeah.
Who is, by the way, inspired apparently by like Jimi Hendrix and stuff. It's like, oh,
I can see it, yeah.
But the lettering is not great.
No, what the problem here is not just the lettering. There's like
there's an effect.
It's an effect, but like there's a font that was chosen. It's in all caps. It makes it more hard. Like I mean, like it is often all caps, but like there's something about the way that lays out that like.
And it's not the same as his normal thing. Like when Baron Samedi's talking in the comic, it's not the same font.
Yeah, no. But I would say that the biggest issue for me is actually the word balloon to word layout.
Yeah,
like it's a little tight some places.
It is a little tight,
and like it doesn't seem to match.
No,
it's almost like it was filled. It was drawn first.
Yes, and then they had to fill it in later.
Filled it in later on, and like maybe something was changed. That like irked me, but I was like, I gotta read this.
Yeah, but
I want to be reminded.
My only issue, my main reason for calling it out is because it's the first issue. It's the first page.
It is the first
so you open it up and you're like, oh, because it looks like a self-published comic.
No, I would say the logo's too good for that.
Well, that's true.
That logo's
and the
too
art
good for that.
But like you have this weird like Photoshop graphic effect.
I had a problem with that.
I don't like that, and I don't like the font choice in this bubble thing. And I'm like, what the hell? Because the rest of the issue is like is a AAA tier comic book.
Yeah,
but this is not
that irked me as well.
I was just like I was a little confused. I was just like, because this book has been a tradition of excellence for the last 2 issues,
but like everything else is like,
and everything else is just great.
But like it's funny because like this page, the context page, like you're mentioning, like a lot of folks skip it anyway,
right?
So they may never even see it.
But the problem is the John Davis art. You know, you see it, you're like, ooh, and then you read and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But everything else is still the other issue. Is the repetition of panels. There's a reuse of panels, I think, or maybe I read it wrong. Yeah, where Samedi has a reaction, and it's that page, and then it's the exact same panel, but Jack moves his hand, and normally I see that in like a Bendis comic or something, but it's in 2 different pages.
Yeah, it's not connected.
And I was like, oh, you just reused the same panel. And it's like, damn it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Because I've seen the action portrayed in the panel to mean the things they're saying here.
Yeah.
It doesn't carry if they're saying 2 different things with the same image.
That's fair. That said, doesn't matter. Like, what I dig about this book and its art is that you've got these like normal like sort of like character moments here, But like, there's a skeleton man,
skeleton
and there's
man,
a guy,
shadow man,
a shadow man, and like a dude, and they're just talking, and they're solving whatever, and they're like questioning this, that, and the other thing. And then you have these panels where it's like, I don't care how many times I see the image of an eyeball with a fly on it. I hate it every time. Every time. It makes me uncomfortable, and I don't like it.
Yeah. And Hunt knows how to make it
and
even more uncomfortable.
It gives me like Ring vibes, where I'm like, you just pull the fly out. It's like, nope, I don't like it.
No, it's horrible. Like, I mean, in the best way.
I love it, like,
because it bothers me.
This page.
Yes.
Because this page is seemingly so
innocuous.
Yes, and then it's like,
reminds you,
eyeball fly,
pulls you right back in, which is great, because like that's what this book should be.
Yes,
this book is.
And I will say too, like, in terms of it jumping around, I think it does a good job in punctuating the action of the current scene, because the current scene kind of is a fight.
Yeah,
and like we're kind of figuring how we got to this.
Yes,
without like doing a let's go back.
It's not quite that.
It's more like it's a breather, then get some more action.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we just kind of finish it out.
Right. And I love.
No, we do another then.
We do another then, but
that then is great.
That then is great, and it's got some crazy art. And again, like
also,
it's hard. I know.
John Davis Hunt draws a really good skull. There's a like profile image of Baron Samedi yelling.
Yes,
and it's great. I'm like, this looks so good.
Looks like a skeleton.
It's hard to draw skeletons. He's drawing it yelling, and I just really liked that image a lot. Like a lot. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Hey, Hunt, draw Ghost Rider sometime.
That's great,
because that's like the only prerequisite you have for drawing Ghost Rider. You need to be able to draw a skull,
and it's harder than you think.
It is hard.
It's harder than you think,
but it's flawless.
I'd say like it is a fun book with like some really solid stakes. Like that's what's interesting about it, is that like it's a book that like seems like it's like, oh, we're just doing a supernatural adventure, but like by the end of this issue, guys, it's like clearly going to affect something larger.
Yes.
But it still manages to like have fun, and it's taking itself seriously, but the characters, get to be like
fun,
quippy occasionally, and it works. They're not like over the top quippy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's not being that. It's
not a quip factory.
It's not trying to. I can imagine it doesn't try to be something else.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, I gotta write a Shadowman book. I guess I'll just take whatever pitch I had for something else and then cram it into this, or make fun of it because nobody knows what it is or something. It's a solid comic book.
Mm-hmm.
It's got an interesting implication of the larger world, and I think it will have farther reaching implications than just Shadowman, which is like that's what Valiant's supposed to be. Yeah, Valiant's supposed to be a larger universe. Like, will this affect like Bloodshot? Probably. Maybe. How? I'm excited to find out. Do something with it.
Honestly, I'd kind of interested to see him interact with.
Oh yeah,
Supernatural.
I would love to see Bloodshot go to the dead side and be like, why?
Strikes me as a less patient Batman.
Yeah,
because Batman. We were just talking about Batman and Supernatural and how like little Batman has patience for that.
For the magic,
even though he tends to get embroiled in those adventures, and he has many a friend who is supernaturally inclined, magically inclined.
Yeah,
but he's just always like, why can't I just be a crocodile man I punch in the face?
Yeah. So yeah, I recommend the issue. I think it's worth checking out. And of course, like, it is the penultimate issue of the arc, and this is not one of those things where you're like, oh, I don't want to get excited about it because it's probably not going to last. It's only 4 issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can say there will be more.
Yeah, for sure.
Raj Patel says, late to the party. So I wanted to say I feel bad for Wild Child losing out to Dokken. Hashtag ComicPop Returns. Thanks, man.
But like the Dokken relationship, I think is kind of cute, so I'm okay with it. I think Wild Child like needs to just don't forget he came back from dying in Ament, so he's a little different. He's a little different right now, and so like I think he needs to deal with that first before he gets into like trying to fix any old relationships.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he needs to like get used to himself.
Yeah.
Now.
Lucha Dandy just sending some love. Thank you very much, Lucha Dandy. We appreciate it. Dex Baker helping us out. Thank you very much, Dex. Man, that's awesome. And
hang on. I know we're gonna like.
Yes. That's right. I forgot about this book.
Hashtag Shadowman. But also,
thank you.
While you guys are putting in your last
hashtag Shadowmans.
Yeah, I wanted to talk really briefly about this because did you read it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was like, I don't want to ruin it for you. I read it last night. This is The Nice House on the Lake.
Yes, in the noble tradition of semi-independent comic books with a name that is a sentence or something.
Listen, they can name a movie A Streetcar Named Desire.
Yes, that's true. Fair enough.
It's written by James Tynion IV by and art by Alvaro Martinez Bueno.
No, and it is muy bueno.
The art looks dope in this. Yeah. The credits page is dope in this.
Yep.
This book's dope, and I like
this book belongs someplace other than Black Label.
This book
should be an Image book that belongs to James Tynion IV. This book should be a Boom book.
We're not gonna go. Well, he already has a Boom book.
I know, but he has a relationship with them. Like, why is this This is not a Black Label comic. Nothing like Black Label.
We're not gonna spoil this. I don't want spoilers in the chat for those who haven't had a chance to pick this up if they had any sort of interest, because this book goes from like, we're setting up this thing to like delivery of said thing, and delivery of said thing was not the thing I thought it was going to be necessarily.
Yes.
And like some of the like aha moment, like the social media aspect of it was like, I read every single thing.
Me too.
It was too real.
Yep. Too real.
Too well done.
Yep.
Just I was so into this story, like from the get-go. Because it doesn't start where you think it's going to start.
No.
And like, so even though you kind of have an idea of like, oh, okay, I thought this was going to be a very different book.
Yes.
I
had no idea what this book was going to be.
I loved it.
Yeah. The Nice House on the Lake.
The Nice House on the Lake. That's literally what the title of it is.
Yep.
Written by James Tynion IV, with art again by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. It's a DC Black Label book.
You were going to say something about this.
I say that this could have been a Hill House book.
I think it basically is a Hill House book.
I think that they either have stopped producing Hill House books, or James Tynion IV was like, I'm not having a Hill House book. I'm James Tynion IV.
Yeah, more like a Tynion House book.
Yeah.
The Nice Tynion House on the Lake book.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for an independent like book, but tend to focus more on your DCs and your Marvels, this might be something for you. You're not going to get any superheroes in here.
Nope.
Although you do.
You get at least two references.
Yeah, you get a couple of references here and there because they're owned by DC.
Yes. No, there's one that isn't.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
There's a Marvel
one.
reference.
Oh, is there really?
Yes.
I only caught the other one then. But it's not. You know how how Tynion's writing Something's Killing the Children, which is a little more like horror, like monster movie kind of thing. That's not really what you're going to get with this, which is kind of what I thought we were getting. I thought we were getting another.
Another Something's Killing the Children.
I don't want. Again, I'm trying not to ruin anything for you because it's like
it is horror.
It is horror. It is in its own way.
It's more like thriller.
It is. It is. It's just like.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say without possibly spoiling something, because it's just well done, well written. By the way, listen, if you're like tired of like the Hickman infographic symbols and stuff like that, you're getting symbols in this. Okay. But they're not like
arbitrary.
They're not arbitrary. They'll explain it in the book, and you are going to get like little like things like details about characters in there, but they are tied into the actual pages and not a standalone page.
Yes.
It's just a solid first issue for this book. I have no idea how long it is. I don't think I want to know either.
No, me either. But I do want to know that it has an ending.
I do want to know it has an ending, but I don't think I want to know that like that it's like 12 like issues or whatever, because like this first issue had me guessing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that reveal like last night, it was a page turner.
It is a page turner. Yeah, I was late coming here to read it. But I think the fact that it is a Black Label book actually is hopefully good, because it indicates that it does have a conclusion. Yeah. Like it will be a mini. But there's no other data.
No.
And I don't want to find anymore. Like, I just want to read this.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
It's great stuff.
And good integration. Like, this is, some folk want things, I like me, to be back to the way they were. Some people hate, like, the integration of technology, cell phones, social media into, like, what is new media and new stories in that media. But this seamlessly integrates, like, email, social media, and the current culture into something new and something familiarly excellent.
Yeah, no, they do. And like there are like this will, I'm sure, well, depending on how things go in terms of our future as like a people in general. But like there's a moment in here where like somebody uses a temperature scanner.
Yeah.
And I was like, that kind of dates it.
Yes.
A little bit, but I think it's supposed to.
Yeah, it's supposed to make you think like it's happening now.
Because in theory, well, it should be, because it's supposed to happen in June.
Yeah.
We haven't even hit the date that this story would have taken place. And You got to read it. You got to read it, guys. You just got to read it. Okay. You got to go check it out. I heard it did gangbusters.
Yes.
So to speak.
In pre-orders.
We got ours and our local comic book store because Sal was the first one because he knew I wanted it to put this on our pull list.
Yes. I can thank Josh Williamson for talking it up so much. Like privately, we were talking about it. And he goes, let me tell you something, man. Pre-orders for this book are freaking sick. I've never seen anything like it. And I was like, you don't say.
Yeah, but we ended
so I called my comic shop and I'm like,
ended up being the first to put on our poll list, and so like they gave us a poster.
Yeah, they gave us the poster.
Which I'm like excited to hang up.
Yeah, I framed it, so it should be. It's either going to go in your office or in your office at home.
Is it here?
No, it's at the studio, or it's in your office. So the nice house on the lake. Pick it up if you can find it.
Yeah, I'm sure. If you can't find it, that I've dropped my bag and board on the floor. I'm sure they're going to put it back to second print.
Oh, no doubt. Dan V900 says, I recommend to people to start with the Valiant Era miniseries by Lemire, Kint, and Paulo Rivera, which is great. The Valiant. It works so well as an introduction to the Valiant universe. I'll give Shadowman a shot. Great.
You should.
Yeah, and the Valiant it's literally, it was made to be an introduction to the Valiant universe. And I think you'll be surprised by where this is going. But yeah. So let's get into recommendations for books that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. Tiffany, take it away.
That was for me. I was reading the chat and watching the show.
Oh no.
I was
hundreds of people right now.
Hanging out.
And then we'll pick the winner.
Die number 17 comes out. Just throwing that out there. While we're talking about some indie books, let's mention the fact that Baby Teeth number 8, if you're a Donny Cates fan who was enjoying his Baby Teeth book, it came back. We're on issue 18. You can go check that out as well. I want to give a shout out to DC Pride number 1 coming out. It's one of those like longer books. It's an 80-page comic. It costs you about $10. So it's one of those where it's like bunch of creators, bunch of like artist writers, pinup gallery, that kind of thing. You can find that out, or you can go pick that up on Tuesday.
Yep.
Or Wednesday.
Depending
on when you're
DC's like, oh, DC Tuesday. Most comic shops I know don't put the books out.
Yeah.
Until Wednesday.
Yeah. So it's going to be 9 stories. You'll see the characters like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, Midnighter, Batwoman, Alan Scott, so on and so forth. So you can go check that out as well. Strange Academy number 11 is coming out. The book that everyone only recently kind of has started finding.
Really?
I've just noticed more people being like, "Hey, have you heard of this? Have you seen this?" I'm like, "Yeah," and it's like, "Yep, it's on issue 11 now."
Yeah.
But it's a pretty fast catch up if you wanted to catch up and dive into this. I like this book a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's lighthearted, but like it does have like it's lighthearted, but it has a lot of heart.
Yes.
There's just lots of hearts. Give us the hearts. It's like giving a thumbs up. This is written by Scotty Young with art by Humberto Ramos. Of course, let's talk about some X-Men books. If you're looking to read some more about the Hellfire Gala, then you won't be picking up Children of the Atom. Because it's not officially tied in based on the cover. However, it will be talking about the Hellfire Gala.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the fact that technically...
How they weren't invited?
Well, no, the gates are technically open to people who aren't...
Oh, this could be their way to crash the party.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't see on this cover the official, like,
seal
Hellfire Gala stamp. So up to you if you want to grab that. But with the ones that do have it on there, Excalibur number 21, written by Tini Howard, with art by Marcus... with art by Marcus Toe, and then X-Men 21 will be coming out, which is like kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but that tends to happen when we have events going on. Like the main X title tends to come out a little more frequently.
Yeah.
But this is the debut of the new X-Men team. You voted.
Yeah, and it's the final issue of the Hellfire Gala.
Yeah.
Or the final issue of X-Men?
I think it's the final issue of this X-Men because the new X-Men is starting.
That's right.
So it's a Hellfire Gala tie-in, and it's also the final issue of Hickman's X-Men.
Oh, wow.
I believe.
Cool.
That's what they're saying right now.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's what's being indicated to us.
Yes. Justice League Last Ride from Chip Zdarsky and Miguel Mendoza is coming out.
My brain was like Justice League Ride or Die.
Ride or Die. That's what they should have called it. But it's fun. It's it's an Elseworlds book, but check it out anyway. It's Zdarsky, so it'll be quality. Speaking of Zdarsky, Batman Urban Legends number 4 is coming out. If you like Red Hood, you like Batman, you're gonna get more of it. It's great. Also Grifter. How could you go wrong? Detective Comics 1037, one of the best Batman books out right now, is out next week. It's got it looks like John Ridley and Mariko Tamaki working together.
Is there Grifter?
Hey, there's our Grifter. Hey, Grifter. Man, we picked up your mask like 10 years ago.
Yep.
That's how often they keep bringing Grifter around.
Now, who knew how relevant you'd be today?
That's right. Yeah, thanks, Grift. Amazing Spider-Man number 68 is coming out. Don't buy it. Batman the Detective number 3 is coming out. So if you liked this series, it's 3 of 6, 50% done.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Taylor, Andy Kubert, great stuff. Andy Kubert was at the Joe Kubert School a couple weeks ago doing like autographs of these. I missed it. Not upset about that at all. Spider-Man Spider Shadow number 3 has is also coming out. I feel like this is kind of soon, but I'm excited because it's a really fun What If series. There's 5 issues of this What If series, and there will be more What If comics, one of which will be also by Zdarsky. So definitely check this out if you want to see What If come back, especially this new iteration of What If from Zdarsky and Pascal Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those are all the books. Let's jump into some super chats, and then we're gonna wrap up with a winner. And that was.
Oh, by the way, to explain, because people are like, wait, Hickman's leaving. He's leaving the X-Men title.
Yes.
So, like, you're going to see new X-Men number 1 come out by Jerry Duggan and Pepe Larraz, but there's a new title because it's the Inferno title be coming out from Hickman.
Yeah.
But so, like, the main X-Men title, new number 1, new writer. And
I think Hickman has a secret X-Men book that he's doing that's coming out.
No, I think that was Inferno.
No, is that what Inferno was? The classified one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or redacted.
Okay. But yeah, Dioclesiano says, hey guys, I always miss the live shows, but today I finally have a chance to jump in and say thanks for all you do. Keep up the great work. Thank you, man. We really appreciate it. Sorry for butchering your name, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I also want to mention Last Ronin number 4, I think, came out last week, and it was fun and great. If you want Dark Knight Returns for Ninja Turtles, read it. It's solid.
You pointed at me as I was fixing my hair, and I thought you were gonna be like, I also want to mention that her hair's really frizzy today.
Yeah, that's so humid, and it's like you can't have the air conditioner on in here and have a show going on at the same time.
This is accurate. I can't deny that this is true at all.
And of course, Ken Byrne also mentions happy belated. Hope you have a great week. Hope you had a great week. I did. Thank you.
Can I do this some more?
Yeah, why not?
Oops.
Oh. That's why I do it.
Okay.
So let's announce the winner. The winner of the Shadowman number 1 gold variant, which is somewhere.
I put it here.
Oh, great.
I had it, and then you didn't take it back, so I was like, uh-oh.
Now, while we're going to do this thing, and it's such an awkward experience for all of us, but here's the deal. We're going to announce it. What you have to do, if you're in the chat, is say something. Like jump in the chat and be like, that was me. And that is Carrie Kwan. So Carrie Kwan.
You have to at them.
Yeah, but it doesn't work like that in here. Carrie Kwan.
At moderator at them.
Yeah. So you can win this beautiful rare.
I've become Shadowman.
Hey, Carrie Kwan, that's me. Wow. We did it.
Record timing. And I threw that back and board on the floor too. I'm just not having some good time.
Here, Tiffany.
I can do it.
Yeah. That was me.
Yay!
It was. So here's the deal, Carrie. Let us email me, sal@comicpop.net, and we'll work out the details. You'll send me your address, and I will send you this. Probably not this one, but one just like it. That has a gold
Who wants the one I danced
coloration
around?
to it. Thank you all for participating in the hashtag Shadowman giveaway. Thank you all for enjoying our episode. If you did, if you didn't, then fuck off. But we really appreciate you all so much for coming here. I wanted to mention that we have over 10,000 subscribers on ComicPop Returns, and part of the reason why that's so remarkable is because we don't yet have 100,000 subscribers on ComicPop Prime.
Yeah.
Which means that more than 10% of our audience has made the transition. Because I don't believe that we got new subs from nowhere who were like, ComicPop Returns, what's this? I've never seen it before. If you did, thank you.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome.
You're awesome.
Yeah, you are. Holy crap. And hopefully it's working. Yeah, but we want to say almost 10 around or above 10%, which is nearly impossible to achieve. Dope. The 10% of your audience will do anything, much less watch your shows, subscribe to another channel. It's insane. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being here.
It just means a lot, and it has it's been something that has floored us. So thank you.
The support has been incredible. I promise more for both ComicPop Prime and ComicPop Returns.
Look at that.
I heard the new channel. And then subscribe to both. Nice.
See,
there you go. Thank you, man. thanks, the AMC. Hopefully you won some money. There was a big stock thing with AMC. But yeah, no. So that's it. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us.
And I'm going to say, tying into the Shadowman thing, don't forget that Shadowman number 3 will be coming out in
2 weeks.
June
23rd.
June 23rd. So if you want to get in now, you can still grab the first 2 issues, catch up, and then be ready to go in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's one more comic book day, then another one, and then it'll be out.
Yes, that's right.
So 3 more new comic book days.
3 new comic book days. You will
be there.
You will get your Shadowman number 3.
Yeah.
And hopefully pick up numbers 1 through 2, and then the 4th one, and then
And then the sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. That's true.
Then you got all the backlog of Valiant you can go back through after that. You can check out some other Shadowman stuff as well.
This is true.
There,
yeah. And of course, Valiant has a really good what's it called? They have a strong trade game. So if you were interested in any of that, you can go back and grab more. But of course, we thank you so much. We're working on a schedule, I think, for like releases. But right now on this channel, ComicPop Returns, you get Off the Rack on Mondays.
Yes.
You get live Elseworlds exchanges on Fridays.
That's right.
And
that's what we know.
And that's all we have right now.
We're figuring it out.
Yes, I do have one episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and that's cut and uploaded. It's on this channel, and that's probably where it's going to live. Where the show's going to live.
You're trying to make that decision.
Yes, but I'm going to try it here and see what happens. So, but we'll figure out what day that is. Probably Wednesday. But that's when Back Issues comes out. I don't want to compete with myself. So let us know what day you prefer your new videos. We got Tuesdays.
Day.
That's a great suggestion.
Just make a new day.
Just a new day. Well, the problem with that is that I think people would have a harder time finding us if they had to pick a day that didn't exist.
Everyone's on Blair's Day. We're all about Blair's Day.
Blair's Day. Speaking of days, you can also check out Tiffany on twitch.tv/ComicPop and watch her play video games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
That's right.
That's right.
There was literally a moment yesterday because of what we were watching. I was like, I'm going to play the first Silent Hill. And then I'm like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
No, that's going to be really hard to make that function.
But who knows? Maybe if we blow up on twitch.tv/ComicPop, we'll have Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Blurg's Day. Why not? But yeah. So anyway, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Good, Bad, and Ugly is not out yet. It's currently secretively uploaded into the back end where you can't see it.
Yeah, it's only the patrons can see it.
Yeah, you can't see it right now. We're just saying that we had a big decision about where GBU was going to live, and so for right now, it has been uploaded to this channel, just not released yet. Yeah. So it'll be there in a bit.
Yes. But there's so much more, and I'm very excited. Right now, it looks like YouTube is favoring shorts, which is why you'll see more shorts on ComicPop Prime and back issues. The shorts help to perpetuate and promote back issues.
Yeah.
And, if after 100K, we'll see what happens, if and when we ever get there. So thank you all so much for being here and supporting us on this channel and that channel.
Yeah.
And of course on twitch.tv/ComicPop on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So tomorrow.
And also that.
You're going to be playing some video games. Do you know what you're playing?
That's why I said I thought about doing that.
So you don't know.
I was playing World of Warcraft the other day.
I know, and that was doing pretty okay.
I was having a good time.
Yeah. Well, you do love WoW.
I do.
I saw a joke that somebody posted where it said, WoW Classic Mists of Pandaria. They were like, and then we'll have WoW Classic and Herp a Derp. Yeah. That's why Tiffany's playing WoW Classic, because of those freaking Pandarians. And all the other nonsense they changed. I don't know. I wasn't a fan. No.
I left before that.
Anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys next time. Next week, I think, on Off the Rack, and more on every other day.
Yeah, that's right. Keep your eyes open.
It's a great new send off for the show. Keep your eyes open. So long, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.
Bye.